Okay.
All right, great, great, great. So I thought it would be a wonderful idea now that I have gotten some update on your good news on just, for us to go back and reflect on where you started from and where you are now, because it is a testament to how you work through a process when you see that there is a need in the workplace and you have some ideas on how to address that need. And so, what I want to do is first, hello everybody. I'm Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, and Chavon is, I guess I'll get in trouble if I say she's one of my favorite people, but she is. She's one of my favorite people, and Chavon called upon me. Um, one time, and she was explaining to me, and I'm going to let her explain it to you, which is why I'm not explaining it. But she was explaining to me what she saw at work and some ideas she had for it. And so, Siobhan, if you could start there about what was that initial call to me and why you made that call to me. Maybe let's talk about that, and then we can walk towards the light. If we want to go back first and then walk towards the light, because this it has a good place that you're in right now.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. My name is Chavon. I'm excited just to be sharing this testimony with you all, my story, my experience with you all. So, it was probably like a year ago now
Oh
when I
wow.
first reached out to you. So, I work at a university and I'm very new to the world of higher education. And I was a teacher for 6 years prior to getting into higher education. And based on my experience just being over a coaching team. So I'm a manager over a coaching team, and there were just some students that were coming up to me sharing their experiences with me as African American students. And then there was another group of students who were also students of different backgrounds other than the majority background, which is Caucasian at the university that I work in. And they were just interested in having different opportunities to be able to share, to express, to talk, to create something that would allow them basically a greater sense of belonging and connection with other people. And so there was just this desire for intentionality behind that. And so it was something that I was just like, what could I do? Because I keep hearing this from so many different students. And I called you, Dr. Pruden, because I know that you have a lot of experience in higher education. You have years of experience in higher education. You're a senior leader in higher education. And so I knew that you were a trustworthy individual for me to be able to come to and get wise counsel, to get an expert piece of advice and information as well. So it wasn't just that you're a kind person, but you also have the knowledge, the expertise, all the things that would really make for me to be able to get the best possible answer. And so I remember us just being able to have a chance to talk, and you just asked me really good questions, and you told me different things um, that are available in regards to diversity and inclusion and different ways in which I could approach it. It could be a program, it could be something that's more so university wide. And so I was just trying to figure it out, and you were there to help me. And so it's been really good just to give you updates, let you know how it's going. And I have appreciated your encouragement throughout the process, and just knowing that you are a woman in senior leadership and higher education, it to me gave me the confidence that this could work. This could be something good. And so there was a moment where I was like, maybe it's not going to be that great, or maybe it won't work out. And I ended up getting encouragement from one of the people on my job. And so then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get back into it. And so being able to update you and talk to you has always been just that additional piece of you can do this. You can do this.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so I just want to, in generalization, talk about what the process so that people can kind of understand in general form. So, Chavon saw a gap where there was a need. Students were requesting a need that was not being fulfilled at that particular time. It was not being fulfilled. So it was a gap in programming services that was being offered for that demographic group of individuals who were approaching Siobhan. And so then when Siobhan came to me, we talked about what it was and what the possibilities of what she could put on the table. But part of that discussion is how do you go about introducing that conversation
Mm-hmm.
to the powers to be? How do you go about introducing something that does not exist right now? How do you articulate it to show that it has value and should be seriously considered right now? Because we have individuals who feel like it is something that they can benefit from. And so that is how we approached it. So we approached it through, well, let's pull the data, let's put something on paper, let's write things down to let them know that we've researched, what is being done in maybe other places. Let's go ahead and structure it out for them. Make it easy for them. You just don't drop an idea on the table. You make it easy for them. You slide it over there to them. You do all the research. You do all the homework. You slide it over to them. Make it easy for them to consider, because when something is new, you are in a situation to be the most ostracized because people don't have anything to compare it to because it's new. And so you have to package it the way you want it packaged so that it'll be well received for them to seriously consider this new idea, this new product, or this new program. And so that's what Siobhan did. She wrote it up, she put it on paper, and tell us in general form about that process. Once you got it on paper, what did you have to go through to get it to, what was the steps that you had to go through once you put it on paper?
So I went to my supervisor, and then my supervisor submitted it to the director, and then we had a meeting together, and then the director sent it up to the VP of Student Life, and the VP of Student Life sent it up again, and so that was the process, and so what ended up happening was because they liked it so much, I was invited to do the Juneteenth message for my university, which was a really big honor because it was going out to all the faculty and staff. And so they loved it, and so they posted it for Juneteenth, and then I got a call that same day with an invitation to be able to be a part of the diversity committee at my university. And what was very interesting is when I started to do my research and get together a team for the program that I was developing, or the initiative, because it's more than just a program, the initiative that I was developing, people kept talking about the diversity committee, but no one knew who was on the diversity committee. And so it was just so interesting. We were like, wow, that's so interesting. People know about it, but they don't know who's there. They don't know who's present on it. And so I had no idea that going through this process that I would end up being on the diversity committee. So I'm actually a representative of the student life side of the university. That's a part of the diversity committee, and I'm up there with faculty. I'm up there with the provost of the university, and so it's just a completely different space, a completely different opportunity. But I'm honored and I'm excited because I think it's awesome that just that idea that I had, this thought that I had, like you said, this gap, this need that I identified, and being willing to pursue it. And connect with you and take it up the chain, you know, that it has resulted in this. It's literally blowing my mind. Honestly, it's blowing
Well,
my
I'm not
mind.
surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. So, cause let me tell you what you've done. So, when you did the work, when you did the research, and you presented it, it's several types of people. You have the people that talk about something, but they never bring resolution. They never they just talk about the problem, but they never are part of or even try to be part of the resolution. So you, by way of a messenger, because people message to you that there was a gap. So you decided, okay, this gap exists. Let me see what's out here. So you problem solve. And as part of that problem solving, you created yourself to be the expert because you were not going on feelings. You were going on research.
Yeah.
You were going on facts. You were going on data. And so it doesn't surprise me that you will be invited to be part of that committee because of all the way that you saw a problem, you brought the possibility of how to resolve the problem. Even if they didn't solve it in that particular way, you opened the floor for the conversation. Now people are talking about, we got this gap here. How do we address it? And because you are a problem solver, and leaders are problem solvers, we don't just identify problems, we also bring possible resolutions to the table. It doesn't surprise me that you would be invited to be part of the committee because you have shown yourself as an expert who does not operate on feelings, operate on fact, because that's what research is. Research is factual. And so they can trust you to enter into this committee in a factual way, even though it was maybe a heartfelt way when you received the message.
Right.
So
Right.
you were able to convert the heartfelt because the heartfelt is the exclusion. Whenever you have a group of people who feel excluded, that tugs to the heart. And there's a widespread impact, especially if you're talking about in an institution of higher ed, which is all about learning and growing and stuff. You don't want to alienate anybody. And so you took that heartfelt information that you got, found out what was available and how to address it. And that showed you as an expert when you presented it, you wrote it up. And so it does not surprise me. Your brand was elevated. The Chavon brand was elevated when you went through that process and you showed yourself as a leader. And so they didn't have any choice but to add you to the committee because of all the work that you had done up into that part. Even though no one knew who was on the committee, on the committee, but you had already done this pocket of work. And so you had already shown yourself as someone who can add value, and you would approach it in that very strategic and intentional way, any problem that the overall committee will be considering. And so, yeah, absolutely. They had no choice. It wasn't their choice. Somebody else told them, somebody else was speaking to them and saying, hey, she has to be part. When I say somebody else, I'm talking about spirit realm type. That no, she has to be part of the process. But your professional brand was elevated. And when you were invited to speak, your professional brand was elevated, because there's two ways to elevate your professional brand: through writing and through speaking. That's how we show ourselves as an expert. That's why most experts either do one or two things. They either write books or they speak in, whether it's a podcast or speeches or something like that, because that's how you communicate to the world your area expertise. And so when you spoke, all that did was solidify all that research and paperwork that you had did while you were working on this other problem that landed you on the committee. And so I am very excited about, I look forward to hearing more and more. I love feedback from individuals. People give you bits and pieces of it, but I was like, hey, let's sit down and let's talk about it so that we don't lose, how you went through this process, because people need to know it is a process.
Right.
And it's not a process that's facilitated with emotion. Because you can get sidetracked with emotions, but is a very strategic and intentional process on how to problem solve and how to put it forth through individuals when something like that has not been put forth before. And to make sure that you're listened to and well received. So I know you have the communication skills and all that stuff to do that. So I had no problem with you as a messenger carrying that message because I know you, youdabomb.com. But for others need to know that it's not even just researching everything and putting it on paper, but you have to say the right words. It has to be respect in a respectful way. It also is a very slow process in the beginning. Like you said, this started a year ago. Right. And so some people would have tapped out by now. You know, they wouldn't even see the fruits of their labor because they would get frustrated that the process didn't move quickly enough. But most processes, when it comes to change or adding something, it takes time.
Right.
But you know, but now you see a year later, that'll give you a benchmark to deal with future problems, to know that it's not unheard of to not have a problem addressed in a year. Things are still happening behind the scenes. And so all in this process help you build fortitude for bigger problems that you're going to help address, that I no doubt you're going to help solve. Because now you know how long it could possibly take, what you need to do, bring research and data to the table, how many different levels that it may take before you can even entertain the conversation. You went to your boss, then your boss went to his boss, and you know, and then I'm sure some other people had some conversation, and so all of that stuff takes time.
Right.
So I am excited. So I know you're feeling good, but I want you to tell me, just how do you feel as a leader who saw a problem? You know, a problem was brought to you. You had some ideas about how to resolve the problem. You figured out what that process was over there, where you were. And then you created a path for yourself to be heard. Because really, that's all you wanted to be in the beginning, was to be heard, to let them know that this had been brought to your attention. But then through your research, you gave them some ideas on, once you informed them, what you could do so that this gap would not continue in the workplace. So tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you feel about the process. Would you approach any other problems in this way? Are you fatigued? Are you heroic? You know, you always have that smile. So I can't tell because you're always smiling, but just how did you, you know, did you, you mentioned that you possibly wanted to give up at one time. And I was that because of the time it was taking to go back and forth? Okay. And so now you know that not to let time be something that caused you to tap out, because it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's just not happening as quick as you want it to happen, right?
Yes. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned in the higher education arena, is that things sometimes do take time. And so that was it for me. And I think that for me, I do feel really, I feel like benchmark is such a good word. I feel like it's a really good marker of just an accomplishment, that does kind of allow me to stand out a little bit more on my job, which I appreciate because I am on a journey like finishing up my doctoral degree and things of that nature. And so I do want to stand out. But at the end of the day, my heart, like you said, was to really serve the needs of the students. But approaching it the right way is the ultimate way to really make sure that that happens. And so last week, I found out that not only am I on this committee, but the initiative that I created has been approved. And so so that's really exciting. And what's really amazing is a part of what I presented with the initiative was getting people from different parts of the university to help with the initiative to bring the different minds in. And so I think that also set me apart as a leader because I understood that this wasn't something that Chavon could do by herself. It
Mm-hmm.
needed to be an effort with a team of individuals who are all about the forward movement of the university and the support of students. And so it was really great saying, Chavon, it's not all about you. It's going to take a group. It's going to take a community of people that can help move this agenda forward. And so it was really good just shifting my mindset in that way so that the biggest objective was the need of the university rather than a motive of just me, you know. But I understood when God gives you an idea that you are responsible to see it through. So I
Mm-hmm.
understood that it's okay, this is my responsibility, but it's not a responsibility that I have to uphold by myself. And so that was really great. So it's just been amazing. It came with increase.
Oh,
That was unexpected. I didn't know that increase
okay, we like
was
that.
about. Yeah, it came with increase, and so that was a pleasant surprise. So yeah, I'm just really just thankful and excited and open to whatever else is going to take place from this step forward.
Well, I will be sitting on the sidelines just waiting to hear because I have high expectations for you as a leader. I mean, I just think you the bomb.com. And because you are a implementer, facilitator, you a doer, you're not just a talker. You're not someone who is just preaching from the sidelines. You don't mind getting your hands dirty. You don't mind helping, starting, initiating, all those things that are very critical in leadership, taking initiative, putting your face and your name to the idea that not even knowing how it's going to be received. That is courage. And a lot of people don't understand the role of courage and leadership. And courage is bringing something that no one has seen or heard to the table, not knowing how it's going to be received. And not everybody can do that and be okay with the results of it or how long the process takes. And so I am truly excited, and I just wanted you to share with both your community and my community the results of the work that not only you as a leader but other leaders are out here doing. That it's not something that's done by happenstance. It's very strategic, very intentional. It's done with education. And what I mean by education is research and different things like that. It's not always, it's very, it's not, it's rarely quick. It's rarely quick. But there's generally fruit for our labor at the end. And we don't know what that fruit looks like because that fruit can continue to bear because of the visibility that you're getting. You don't know who has seen and will hear you in this committee, who heard you on the Juneteenth, that's still processing what they heard. You don't know how people are trying to fit you in their plans based off of the expertise that they feel that you have. And that's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. So I am excited. I won't hold you any longer, but I just wanted to say I am so excited. I am so proud. As a coach and a mentor, my answer is always yes. Whatever you ask me, my answer is always yes. Can the question, let's talk about the question. What do you need to know? Because I do believe that part of my legacy is sharing information with as many people as possible so that they can make an impact.
Yeah.
That's really when you want to scale. When you want to scale with knowledge. Just give, and you will get it back. But just give your knowledge so that others can make an impact based off the knowledge that you shared with them. And so I am happy. I am excited, and stay tuned for the next chapter of Chavon. So there'll be a part two later on. Let's maybe like a year from now. We'll let her work
Okay.
up, and we'll find out where she is now. We'll do a "Where Is She Now" series or whatever. But thank you so much for your time, Chavon.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate your help. You are amazing. You are an incredible leader. I thank you for always encouraging me, pushing me, and thank you for being the forerunner and the pioneer for so many women in leadership. And it's been amazing knowing that I could talk with you, ask you questions, get encouragement, and get support. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.